I'm Katrina Petersen. I'm with Public Safety Communication Europe. I'm a Senior Research Consultant on Societal Impact. In 6G4Society, I lead work package 3, which is the work on KVIs, acceptance, and key sustainability indicators. One key insight that we've gained is that we really need a strong stakeholder understanding of what the values and the impacts are. The stakeholder values and how they define them aren't necessarily the same as the 6G communities, and aligning these would both strengthen the activities within the projects as well as create greater acceptance of the results of the projects. Another key insight that we have is we need to build a stronger understanding of what we want to do with KVIs. KVIs can do a range of things. They can be more like value by design, the same way we do privacy by design, or they could be ways of gauging the context around technology, like looking at the demographics or the infrastructure around the technology potential, to then see if it's possible to have the grounding frame needed to actually create that benefits. And until we decide what it is we want KVIs to do, we'll have a little bit of disagreement or dispersion as to what KVIs are doing. One of the key challenges, I think, to this is the fact that the projects right now are built very strongly around technical performance, and it's a huge strength of these projects. They're incredibly innovative, they're incredibly strong, they're incredibly forward-thinking. What they don't have on them is the social scientists or the stakeholders, often represented as project partners, and increasing that would actually help create this bridging and help put these conversations together. Actually been incredibly valuable because it's allowed the projects to express their assumptions that had otherwise been unsaid. And some of it is because there's different branches within the communities, some that have different views of KVIs, and putting them in a room and helping them have the conversations that force these underlying expectations to come out has been extraordinarily helpful in understanding what community support would really benefit the projects. A couple of key things have come out, which is there's different understandings about which values are the priorities, the different expectations of what a KVI is, and the different understanding of when a KVI should be measured or assessed. And getting that out there is now allowed us to then understand where the projects need support. Another key element that's become very evident in the process is there are different styles of projects, and the different styles need different KVI support as well. So there's the projects that have use cases, there are the projects that have proof of concepts, and then there are the ones that don't have either, that are lower tier or that are more exploratory, that need to understand how they better lead to this outcome value that's further away in the future from them, yet they're the ones with the most opportunity for flexibility. One of the other key insights that I've gained is that there's a lot of value in having social scientists, someone like me, engage and think through the technology process. And this is because when we have to think about outcomes really early on in projects, you have to think about what might be and what those proxies are. Those proxies are often found in technology design. So trying to articulate what it is to do a KVI has actually forced us to really think about what are these proxies that we want to be looking for and how do we get to those. And I think that is a conversation that really truly needs to be socio-technical, bridging the two worlds. And I think it's been a really good learning process along the way to figure out what it might mean to do that. I think there's a couple of things that need to be done. One is to better understand how the stakeholders define and prioritize which values matter to them across the different verticals. And this became evident when we did our PPDR workshop, asking our public safety practitioners, what value means to them, and how it affects their objectives in their work. And the priorities of the definitions we got were slightly different than the ones we're seeing out of the projects. So I think understanding the stakeholders is really a key next step. And that would also help us define and clearly create agreement between the SNS world and the stakeholder world as to what values are the priority and why. And that, I think, is really needed to get to the next step. I think we also need to really clearly define what we want a KVI to actually be accomplishing. Is it just something internal for technology design? Is this an external communication element that helps explain to stakeholders what we're doing? Is it for funding evaluation? And having that clarity will help us better understand how to actually operationalize KVIs.